80% of your results come from diet, 20% come in the gym. There's quality, and then there's quantity. Hey guys, I just got back from workout, just barely for lunch, and I have my post-workout meal here. And I wanted to go over a little bit about nutrition today, just because you gotta get in the habit of going to the gym and getting your workouts dialed in to some degree, then focusing on your nutrition. You need both, right? The rule that I always use is the 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from diet, 20% come in the gym, especially if we're talking about, not necessarily about gaining muscle, but getting leaner and maintaining muscle as well. It's all about your diet. 20%, it's about training as well. But with going into the diet, I wanted to walk over this. Now, with diet, for me, there's kind of two sides to it, right? There's quality and then there's quantity. You'll get the volume in, so there's the quantity, right? Get your macros and your micronutrients, the essentials. And then we can go for quality, especially those days you have more time. I did a little bit of a reel about time this week. But I know that's one of the biggest obstacles anyone has about fitness, whether it's making time to work out, and then also making time to eat. A lot of those YouTube videos where people are prepping, dedicating a Sunday night to prep, or a couple hours a week to prep their meals throughout the week, which is great, right? If you can find time to do that, that definitely can work. I've done it in the past, but now as life has gotten busier, definitely with work and also with my kids getting older, I just don't have time to do that, or I don't want to make time to do that. So how did I find a workaround? So this is kind of really more of a, going back to quality and quantity, right? This is more the quantity side, getting in my essentials. There's another phrase that I've heard used in the fitness industry, which is, you eat for utility, not for taste. This is definitely for utility, right? It's not for taste or like that. Maybe I'll do some meal prep videos those days I do have more time, where I can focus on the quality and focus on the taste rather than the utility and quantity, right? But yeah, just getting into what we have here. So first thing I have is canned chicken. Now you could cook chicken. A little bit things that people bash on with this is that it's high in sodium. We're not going for the quality, right? Quantity, you're getting in your macros. In this thing, you have 6 servings, 10 grams per serving. There is 60 grams of protein in this can. I don't necessarily eat the whole thing all at once. I usually eat about half. So that gives me 30 grams of protein, and that's about 150 calories with 30 grams of protein. Pretty good, right? Well, just like a protein shake. Same kind of macros there. I always have a fruit of some kind. We'll talk about this banana here in a second, but I usually have an apple. I'm out of apples like I am today. I'll have an orange. I have vitamins and minerals. One thing that's big about these is fiber. That keeps you full. It also helps with digestion, especially if you're eating a high protein diet. Protein is really hard to digest especially on your kidneys and a lot of your organs, the digestion process. So I want to help that out with fiber. I'm staying full, I'm eating less because of the fiber, and then it's helping me digest a little bit better. And then also these have fast-acting carbs in them. That's why I always have a fruit with my protein, because these carbs here, these fast-acting carbs, to convert to glucose, right? Which will convert, and then this will bring that protein into my muscles, right? A lot of that, there's some science in there, and then a little bit of intuition with things that I've seen people do from the science perspective, as well as what I see works for me, and I feel a lot better. I do see better results when I do have those carbs with my protein. You probably have seen bodybuilders do you gotta do 6-7 meals a day, and again, that's probably optimal. The whole point in getting your protein in, right? And there's that myth, and I'll talk more about that. There's a myth in nutrition saying that you need to have that window, right? Right after your workout, you gotta within 30 minutes to an hour, I've heard that you gotta have your protein, or it's not gonna work. And that's just not the case, guys. All you're doing when you eat protein is you're doing protein synthesis. Protein synthesis initiates recovery in your muscles. Now, why you bodybuilders, for example, do 6-7 meals is because all they're doing is they want to spread out their protein and maximize protein synthesis. If they're experiencing protein synthesis multiple times throughout the day, that's kind of where I think the bro science kind of kicks in, but it's going to help facilitate recovery more and muscle growth more so. Now, a lot of times I'm not optimizing. I don't have time. Again, I'm not meal prepping. I'm not doing 6-7 meals a day. I'm usually doing 3 or 4 meals on a high day. Sometimes if I have to spread it really out, I'll do 5 meals, but most of us have time for 2 to 3 meals. And that's something that you can definitely do. It's more optimal to spread it out throughout multiple meals. But if you only have time, again, we're not trying to optimize. You're trying to get in that quantity, not that quality. What do you guys use for post-workout? What are things that you use for utility, that quantity, to getting in your macros, your micronutrients? I'm having this Greek yogurt. This isn't the brand I usually buy, but this is about, per serving, you're going to have 10 grams of protein, and it's going to be 120 calories, right? So with this, I'm at 150 calories, 30 grams of protein. On this, I'm at another, let's just round it up to, let's round it up to 250, maybe 300, and we're at 40 calories already. And then with the orange, you could weigh these things out, right? The rule of thumb for me is if it's a fruit, it has probably about 100 calories. And I always round up, right? So that way I'm not underestimating my calories. A lot of people, that's what they do, is they underestimate what they eat. I'd rather overestimate my calories. So we got 100 calories here, we got 120, 150 calories here, we got 150 calories here. So we're at like around 450, right? Not bad. Now, also what I do is I have a banana, right? Bananas have magnesium. They also have fiber in them as well, but mostly for magnesium. That is an electrolyte and a mineral that you need for muscle recovery. Zinc and magnesium are great for that. This doesn't necessarily have a lot of zinc in it, but it is definitely known for magnesium and potassium, right? Which is great for digestion as well. Here we got some vegetables. So we have carrots and canned pumpkin, right? Again, this is not tasty, right? My wife thinks this stuff is so gross, but it has a lot of fiber, guys. It is literally 3 grams per serving. That's only about half a cup, right? So you have about 3.5 servings of this. You only need about 5 grams of fiber a day. So you can get your whole fiber serving from eating about a cup of this, which is about a third of the can. Then vitamin D is obviously great for your skin. It helps you produce collagen, which is good for skin and muscle recovery as well. So that's why I have that. And it keeps me full. Again, guys, some of this stuff as well is just to help me keep me full so I don't overeat. And that's one of the things that we do is we overeat. All this stuff that you see here, getting into the carrots, same kind of thing. If it's orange, right, it's going to have vitamin D in it. These have fiber as well, and they keep me full. So we have all of our, our macros, right? Protein. We don't have really a whole lot of any fat here, right? Because there's no fat really in Greek yogurt. This is non-fat, low-fat Greek yogurt. But I got my essentials, which I really try to focus on, which is protein and carbohydrates, especially post-workout. That's all in here. We're about at 600-ish calories. And we have our electrolytes and the multivitamin. And I'm probably overdoing it a little bit on the electrolyte side and on the vitamin side. The reason why I buy this one, by the way, there's no special reason. Well, there's a reason. It's a financial reason. These ones you can buy at the grocery store. These are for 50-year-old men. I'm not 50, I'm 35. A little bit of research on it, like is it bad for a 35-year-old to eat multivitamins for a 50-year-old plus man? They're saying not really, you're just overdoing it. You're essentially just fine. And so I know that I'm not lacking in minerals, but I put that on top of that. So we're about 600 calories, a little about 40 grams of protein, carbohydrates in here. Again, that's what I'm looking for right now, right? Again, post-workout. Again, guys, this is for utility. If you're like me, I'm a corporate professional, I'm a dad. I a lot of times don't have time to prep. Those days where taste just doesn't matter. And taste does matter to me sometimes, but a lot of times when time is more essential to me than taste, I'm eating for utility, and this is what I'm grabbing. If you have any questions, guys, about this, please put it in the comments. Love interacting with you guys.